What if the people you trusted the most, your own husband and daughter, were secretly planning to throw you out of your own home? What if they used a different language to hide every insult, believing you were too old, too slow, too ignorant to understand? And what if you stayed silent, not because you were clueless, but because you understood every single word? How far would a woman go when she discovers the truth behind her first husband's death? A truth her daughter has been hiding for decades. What happens when the weak one holds the biggest secret, a secret that could destroy both of them? Keep watching, because this quiet woman has finally decided to speak, and when she does, their world is going to burn. Honey, let me tell ya, life don't play fair. And sometimes, the folks you trust the most, yeah, they're the ones plotting to put you 6 feet under. I ain't kidding. I learned that the hard way, and if you stick around, I'll spill the whole mess. But be warned, this ain't no bedtime lullaby. You might want to keep your seatbelt fastened. It all started on a Tuesday. Normal day, or so I thought. Logan, my sweet boy, rest his soul, had been gone 2 years. But that bastard Chris kept poking around like a damn raccoon sniffing for leftovers. I remember the exact moment I knew things were off. I was sipping my chamomile tea, minding my own business, when my phone buzzed. No name, no number, just a text. Asterisk, asterisk, you don't know who's watching. Asterisk, asterisk. Now, I ain't scared of much, except maybe snakes and bad coffee, but that text, it gave me the shivers. I looked out the window, nothing, just the fog sitting heavy over the street. But I knew better. You learn to read these signs after surviving a few scrapes in your 70-odd years. See, Logan had always been careful. Too careful. Even he kept files on everybody, everything. I didn't know why back then, and heck, even after he died, it felt like he left me a trail of breadcrumbs, whispering, asterisk, asterisk, Evie, watch your back, asterisk, asterisk, yeah, that's me, Evie. But for storytelling's sake, you can call me Grandma. Ain't nobody gonna argue with me. The first clue came a week later. I was digging through Logan's old desk, looking for a letter he promised me before. Well, before the accident. And there it was, a USB drive, tucked in the corner like it was playing hide-and-seek. My heart pounded like a jackhammer. Honey, I swear, even the cat jumped at my nerves. And that's when I heard it asterisk, asterisk, click, click, click. Asterisk, asterisk, the sound of someone fiddling with the lock on the front door. My first thought. Kane, good boy, but always a little too curious for his own good. But something felt off. I grabbed the lamp and crept to the window. A shadow flitted across the driveway. Not Kane, no sir. This was darker. Dangerous. I froze, hunched like a raccoon ready to pounce. That's when I remembered something Logan said, years ago, on a night I can't forget. Evie, if anything ever happens to me, trust no one. Not even the blood you bleed for. I laughed bitterly at the memory. Funny, how words make your stomach knot years later. The USB? That little stick of secrets. It wasn't just a memory box. It was a map to something bigger. Something Chris and his cronies would kill for. And let me tell ya, honey, if Chris wanted it, he wouldn't bother with pleasantries. Nah, he'd come barging in with all the charm of a rattlesnake. So, I did what any old bird with a little fight left in her would do. I grabbed my coat, my keys, and just to spice things up, Logan's old revolver. Not that I planned on using it. Mostly, the air outside was cold, biting, but I didn't care. Every step toward that drive felt like I was tiptoeing through a minefield, and the worst part, I had no clue who to trust. Kane, maybe. Chris definitely, and Logan's friends. Well, they had mouths bigger than their loyalty. By the time I reached the alley behind the house, I saw him, Chris, smirking like he owned the place. And let me tell ya, honey, he wasn't alone. Shadows moved behind him, silent and quick. My stomach sank. My instincts screamed asterisk, asterisk, run. Asterisk, asterisk, but my old bones didn't move fast enough. I ducked behind a dumpster, praying they didn't see me. That's when I noticed the little glint in his hand, a phone, filming every word I uttered, every move I made, probably being recorded, and I realized they knew more than I thought. They knew Logan's secrets, and now they were hunting me for the same thing. I whispered to myself, just loud enough to be my mantra. I ain't dead yet, and I sure as hell ain't gonna be easy prey. And honey, that's when I spotted Kane, crouching on the fire escape above, looking like a lost puppy, trying to figure out if he should help or run. And that's the twist. Because I couldn't tell who was friend and who was foe, not yet. Before I could make a move, my phone buzzed again. Another text. Asterisk, asterisk, you're running out of time. Asterisk, asterisk. My pulse jumped. And just like that, I knew. This night wasn't over. Oh no, baby, it was just getting started. And that, my dears, is where I'll leave you for now. But don't worry, next part, things go from bad to worse. Secrets get spilled, alliances get tested. And maybe, just maybe, someone's gonna regret underestimating this old lady. So, buckle up. And remember, honey, never trust a shadow, and always watch the blinds. Asterisk, will Grandma survive Chris's trap? Asterisk, can Kane be trusted, or is he playing both sides? Asterisk, what shocking secret is hidden in Logan's USB? Honey, I didn't just feel danger, I smelled it crawling through the fog, right down to my bones. That night, it wasn't just cold, it was mean. The kind of cold that gnaws at your cheeks and whispers that death's been sent ahead to greet ya and me. I wasn't about to roll over without a fight. Kane hit the alley behind me, panting like a scared pup. Grandma, we gotta move. Now. They know you got the files. I gave him a look sharp enough to cut glass. Honey, I'm old, but I ain't deaf. You think I don't know? We darted down the alley. Fog hugged the brick walls, smelling like wet asphalt and secrets. Every shadow looked like it had teeth. Every echo sounded like boots hunting us. And worst of all, we didn't even know where we were heading. But strategy, honey? Grandma's got it. I whispered, Kane, we split if we gotta. Follow my lead. I didn't tell him yet, the safe house I had in mind. Not exactly safe, but it had walls, doors, and maybe Logan's last trick just for me. Then, screech tires, a black SUV slicing fog like a knife. Chris and his goons, big, mean, and grinny like wolves. Evie, Chris called, smooth as venom, why don't you come out and play? I froze for a heartbeat, then laughed, loud, bitter. Play. Honey, I ain't playing with kids no more. You want something. You'll have to work for it. Kane paled. I grabbed his arm. I hissed. Don't give M the satisfaction. We ducked into a narrow passageway. Fog swirled, wind biting my cheek. Pipes creaked overhead. That's when I saw it, a glint behind some crates. The USB Logan's gift, my ticket to the truth. But picking it up wasn't simple. A little red light blinked. Trapped. Maybe. Funny thing, Logan always had a sense of humor. All right, sugar, I muttered. Let's see what you've been hoarding. Click, footsteps. Too close. Chris's voice, echoing, I know you're there, Grandma. Step out. I gritted my teeth. Panic. Sure, a pinch. Fear. Nah. I motioned Kane to follow, ducked into a side door. Shadows swallowing us. And honey, the real shocker. Logan's hidden office. Behind a bookshelf, filled to the brim with files, photos, documents, names, dates, transfers, and Chris meeting someone else, a bigger threat. I noticed a photo pinned to the corkboard. Chris, smiling with a strange symbol tattooed on his wrist, a symbol I'd seen once before in Logan's old files. My stomach nodded. Danger was multiplying. I whispered to Kane, honey, this ain't just family betrayal. This is a damn empire. Click lock rattling, boots pounding. Someone was cumin. Kane hesitated, glancing over his shoulder. I caught a flicker in his eyes. Doubt, maybe fear, maybe secrets. Asterisk, what are you hiding, boy? Then a thought hit me. I hadn't said it out loud yet. Logan, my poor husband. All these files, these lies, all the danger. For him, my throat tightened. Lord Logan, what did you get us into? A note slipped under the door. Messy letters, big and mean. Asterisk, asterisk, Evie, you shouldn't have found this. Stop, or it'll be the last choice you ever make. Asterisk, asterisk. I smiled. Dark, sly, choices, sugar. I've made plenty. Dying without answers ain't one of 'em. Lights flickered. Not electricity. Intentional. Someone wanted to scare us. Kane yelped. I cursed under my breath. And the twist. Kane little tells. Hesitations. Micro smirks. When danger appeared. Maybe he's not the boy I thought I knew. Maybe he's hiding something deadly. And honey, let me ask you, what would you do if the only person you trusted started looking like a liar? The tension, thick enough to cut with a butter knife. Chris wasn't the only threat tonight. Secrets were closing in, tightening like a noose. I pulled Kane close. Listen, baby, trust nobody. Not yet. But follow me, and we might just make it through this hell. Then my phone buzzed. Another text. One word. Asterisk, asterisk, run. Asterisk, asterisk. I looked at Kane. He looked at me. And honey, I realized Logan's secrets weren't just hidden. They were alive. Hunting us. I smiled, deadly calm. Well then, sugar, I whispered. Let's see how fast an old lady can really move. Asterisk, who's really on Kane's side? Asterisk, what dangerous empire is Chris tied to? Asterisk, will Grandma survive the office trap tonight? Asterisk, comment below. Should Grandma trust Kane or leave him behind? I thought my life was safe. I was dead wrong. Fog rolled over the alley like it had a mind of its own, thick and wet, curling around my ankles, smelling like old asphalt and danger. Honey, let me tell ya, I felt it in my bones. Danger wasn't coming. It was already there. Kane whispered behind me, Grandma. Someone's following us. I slowed my breath, ears straining. Footsteps echoed, light, deliberate. Why did Logan trust me with this USB? I muttered to myself. That little stick held secrets someone would kill for, and sugar. I wasn't planning on dying tonight. We darted behind a dumpster. My old knees protested, but my heart, oh, it pounded like gospel drums on Sunday. Kane glanced at me. His eyes flickered. Hesitation. Trust him. Or was he another layer of the trap? I leaned close to him, whispering, Honey, tell me, what would you do if the only person you trusted started looking like a liar? Shadows stretched across the walls, twisting like snakes. The USB in my pocket blinked red, like a warning light on a bomb. I rubbed my fingers over it, feeling the metal and the weight of Logan's faith. That man, he always knew trouble before it knocked. We slipped into an abandoned office. Dust and old papers stung my nose. On the desk, a photo of Chris, grinning, smug, a symbol on his wrist I recognized from Logan's journals. My stomach churned. Chris's reach. Longer than I ever imagined. Kane's hand brushed mine. A flicker of doubt in his eyes. Was he hiding something, honey? His micro-expressions told a story I wasn't sure I wanted to read. Suddenly, a creak above. I froze. Kane froze. Someone or something was moving in the vents. I held my breath, heart hammering. Every muscle tense. Kane, stay close. And remember, sugar, Chris ain't the only predator out here. A flashback hit me, soft and sharp. Logan, late at night in his office, whispering, Evie, don't trust the smiles. Look at the eyes. I clenched my jaw. Logan trusted me, and I'd honor him, no matter what. Click. The USB blinked again. Sirens in the distance, getting closer. Then a note slid across the desk. Big, red letters, run. Trust nobody. I laughed under my breath, dry and sharp. Trust nobody, sugar. Ain't that what I've been saying all along? Kane swallowed, eyes darting to the shadows, then back at me. Micro gestures, hesitation, maybe guilt, or loyalty. I couldn't tell. Every choice we made from here on out could be the wrong one. A distant bang. Metal on concrete. Someone testing the building. I pressed my back to the wall, whispering, "Would you follow Grandma, or run for your life?" Suddenly, another flashlight flickering through broken windows, a shadow moved quick, intentional. My old bones shook, but I wasn't done yet. Logan's secrets, Chris's empire, Kane's loyalty, all tangled in this web of danger. And honey, the night was far from over. I leaned closer to the camera. "Or you, listening type Team Grandma, if you think this old lady survives tonight." Click, the USB blinked again. Tires outside. Sirens nearer. Kane's hesitation, shadows creeping. Everything stacked against us. Then, a faint whisper in the hall, cold and sharp, "Watch your back." I smirked. "Sugar, this old lady ain't done yet. And Chris, he hasn't seen the worst of me." Honey, I ain't gonna lie. When we stepped into that warehouse, I felt my guts twist like a roller coaster on a stormy night. "Are we walking straight into a trap?" I whispered to Kane. And Sugar, my gut said hell yes, Fog from the street outside clung to my coat, dripping onto the concrete floor. Cold steel smelled like metal and sweat. The USB in my pocket hummed faintly, like it knew secrets that could kill us both. My hands shook, but I hid it. I've survived longer than most folk think, and tonight wasn't gonna be my last. We moved slow, shadows stretching across crates. Footsteps echoed. Kane's eyes darted too often. Trust him. Or was he part of the nightmare? "Grandma, look," he said, pointing at a stack of boxes. Symbols scrawled in black marker, same as on Chris's photo from the office. I froze. Chris's reach, longer than I imagined. And honey, he wasn't just dangerous. He was organized, surgical. Flashback hit me. Logan, hunched over his desk, whispering, "Evie. The people you trust most might be the ones setting the trap. That man. He trusted me, and I'd honor him. I always do." Suddenly, a loud bang, metal crates tipping over. I pressed myself flat, breath shallow. Kane grabbed my arm, his grip tight. Hesitation flickered in his eyes. Was it fear or guilt? "What would you do if the one person you trusted most looked like they might betray you?" I murmured mid-whisper. "Honey, I asked that not just for me. For you watchin' too." We ducked behind a stack of crates. A single light flickered above, buzzing like it was mocking us. The shadows danced. I heard the faintest click. A camera. Someone watching us. Every nerve on fire. Kane stepped forward. I saw him glance over his shoulder. Trust him. Grandma. Trust him? I told myself. But Sugar. Every instinct screamed. Don't. Suddenly, a trapdoor clicked open. My knees went weak. Kane yelped as a net swooped down. I dove sideways, barely escaping the steel teeth that could have ended me in an instant. The USB fell out. I snatched it, heart hammering. Chris is watching. And honey, I don't think he's alone, I whispered. Shadows moved on the balcony above, faint figures pacing. Kane hesitated, hand hovering over the USB. Did he think of running? Or worse, taking it for himself? A moment of silence. Then a text slid across my phone. Time's up. I smirked under my breath. Sugar, if they think a little scare is enough, they haven't met me yet. But fear squeezed my throat. My back ached, muscles tense, memories of Logan flooding in. That man had warned me, and I'd promised him I'd survive. But tonight was testing every promise. The USB blinked again, red and ominous. Sirens in the distance, fast and closer. Shadows stretched, Kane's hesitation, my old heart pounding. Every choice, wrong or right, could be the difference between life and death. I moved fast. Crates toppling behind me. Kane at my side, breathing ragged. The net trap reset somewhere behind. Chris's traps weren't just physical. They were psychological. I ducked behind a barrel, pressing my back to the cold steel. Trust nobody. Logan's words echoed. Kane's eyes flickered again. Loyalty or lie. Then a faint whisper from the upper level. Run. I whispered back, mostly to myself. Honey, this old lady isn't done yet. And Chris, he hasn't seen the worst of me. A shadow flickered near the exit. Kane tensed. I leaned close, voice low and firm. Comment below, should Grandma trust Kane or leave him behind? A creak. Another bang. The USB blinked, and Sugar. The night was far from over. Lordy Sugar, I swear, the second we stepped into that hidden lab beneath the warehouse, my heart did a back. Are we walking straight into the devil's own den? I whispered, voice shaking like an old wind chime. And honey, I felt the answer before I even saw it. The smell hit me first. Chemicals, metal, and fear. Flickering fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Shadows danced across the walls like they were alive, twisting around racks of wires, blinking monitors, and a table full of files. Kane stayed close, but I swear I saw a flicker of doubt in his eyes. Did he know more than he was telling me? I pressed the USB into the reader. A screen lit up. My stomach dropped. Files, names, numbers, and honey, some of those names. They weren't just employees. They were politicians, cops, even people I knew from back home. Chris had built an empire bigger than anyone could imagine, and every thread led back to him. Flashback. Logan sitting at his desk, whispering, Evie. The truth will cut deeper than a knife, but you need it to survive. I clenched my jaw. That man trusted me with more than just secrets. He trusted me to finish what he started. Suddenly, a low hum. Metal shutters slammed down around the lab. Kane cursed under his breath. My hands gripped the USB tighter. Another micro cliffhanger hit. A shadow moved along the far wall, just out of reach. What would you do if the person you thought you trusted was hiding a secret that could kill you? I whispered mid-scene, glancing at Kane. Sugar, that's for you watching too. I tried to stay calm, but the hum got louder. The blinking lights reflected in Kane's eyes. I leaned in close, whispering, you tell me now, Sugar, are you with me, or against me? He hesitated. Just a flicker, but it spoke volumes. I couldn't afford doubt. Not now. Not with Chris, somewhere above, probably watching every move through cameras we didn't even know existed. Footsteps echoed from the stairwell. My pulse hit a rapid beat, fast and staccato. I ducked behind a table. Kane followed. Every shadow, every movement felt like a trap. And Sugar, they weren't all human. Some of it felt mechanical. Blinking lights on monitors. Doors locking on their own. Chris's tech, his control, his empire of terror. All closing in. I whispered to myself, Logan, I'll make it out. I promise. But fear nipped at my heels. Another hum. A file slid across the table, like someone, or something, was taunting me. The USB blinked red. Kane grabbed it, but I yanked it back. Don't take it from me, I hissed. This is our lifeline, Sugar, and you know it. Then, the stairs creaked. Chris, or one of his men. My old bones wanted to run. But Sugar, I've never been one to hide when the fight's right in front of me. I leaned toward the camera, whispering, comment below. Should Grandma trust Kane with the USB, or go it alone? Another shadow flicked past the monitors. I pressed myself to the floor, my breathing shallow. The USB blinked like a heartbeat in the dark. And honey, the night wasn't done testing me yet. Who really controls Chris's empire? Is there someone bigger we haven't seen? Can Grandma trust Kane? Or will his hesitation cost them both? What secret did Logan hide that could change everything tonight? Lordy Sugar, let me tell you, I've been around long enough to know trouble when it knocks. But this night, oh honey, it wasn't just knocking. It was pounding on my door like a freight train running full speed. And me, I was smack dab in the middle of it. I had barely caught my breath from the last nightmare when Kane whispered behind me, Grandma, we gotta move. Now. But even as he said it, I saw that flicker again, the hesitation in his eyes, like he was hiding something. My gut told me one thing, I couldn't trust a damn soul tonight. Not Kane, not the shadows crawling outside, not even Logan's memory whispering in my ear. We slipped out the back alley, the night fog wrapping around us like it wanted to choke the life out of me. My cane barely tapped the cracked pavement before a distant siren screamed, making my ears ring. Sugar, I tell ya, every nerve in my body was on fire. I'd survived more than my fair share of scrapes, but this felt like the first time I was truly hunted. Grandma, you see that? Kane hissed, pointing ahead. My eyes narrowed. There, under the flickering neon of a half-burned sign, a figure lingered, shadowed, waiting, watching. My chest slammed with fear, but I ain't the type to just freeze and cry. Flashback. Logan and I in the kitchen, his hand on mine. Evie, promise me, no matter what you see, keep your head. Don't trust appearances. His voice, soft yet urgent, rattled through my mind like a bell in a silent room. That memory was the only thing keeping me from bolting right into the danger. We ducked into a deserted warehouse, the walls coated with rust and old graffiti. Kane fumbled with a lock, whispering, "Hurry, Grandma. They're closer than we think." And Sugar, I could hear it, the faintest click, the softest scrape. Someone was tracking us. Someone wasn't just after Kane. They wanted me. I reached for the USB in my coat. Cold, solid, dangerous Logan's secret in a tiny stick of doom. And Sugar, the second I touched it, a shadow moved across the wall. Not Kane, not me. Someone else was in the room. "Who is it?" I whispered, teeth clenched. Kane didn't answer. He just stared at the shadows, his face pale in the flickering light. That hesitation, that tiny twitch in his jaw, made my heart hit double time. We moved deeper into the warehouse, every step careful, deliberate. I kept thinking about Logan, how he trusted me with this. And Sugar, that trust felt like a weight, heavy on my chest, pressing me to get it right. One wrong move, and all of Logan's secrets gone, or worse, me gone. Honey, I ain't gonna lie. When we stepped into that warehouse, I felt my guts twist like a roller coaster on a stormy night. Are we walking straight into a trap? I whispered to Kane. And Sugar, my gut said hell yes, Fog from the street outside clung to my coat, dripping onto the concrete floor. Cold steel smelled like metal and sweat. The USB in my pocket hummed faintly, like it knew secrets that could kill us both. My hands shook, but I hid it. I've survived longer than most folk think, and tonight wasn't gonna be my last. We moved slow, shadows stretching across crates. Footsteps echoed. Kane's eyes darted too often. Trust him. Or was he part of the nightmare? "Grandma, look," he said, pointing at a stack of boxes. Symbols scrawled in black marker, same as on Chris's photo from the office. I froze. Chris's reach, longer than I imagined. And honey, he wasn't just dangerous. He was organized, surgical. Flashback hit me. Logan, hunched over his desk, whispering, Evie. The people you trust most might be the ones setting the trap. That man. He trusted me, and I'd honor him. I always do. Suddenly, a loud bang, metal crates tipping over. I pressed myself flat, breath shallow. Kane grabbed my arm, his grip tight. Hesitation flickered in his eyes. Was it fear or guilt? What would you do if the one person you trusted most looked like they might betray you? I murmured mid-whisper. Honey, I asked that not just for me. For you watchin' too. We ducked behind a stack of crates. A single light flickered above, buzzing like it was mocking us. The shadows danced. I heard the faintest click. A camera. Someone watching us. Every nerve on fire. Kane stepped forward. I saw him glance over his shoulder. Trust him. Grandma. Trust him? I told myself. But Sugar. Every instinct screamed. Don't. Sugar, let me tell ya, I've faced down more fools than I can count. But that rooftop, Lordy, it wasn't just a rooftop, it was a frickin' stage set for doom. And me, I was the unwitting star. The second my cane hit the metal grate, I froze. Fog curling like fingers around our ankles, sirens wailing somewhere far below, and Kane staring at me like he just saw a ghost. But Sugar, I knew it wasn't ghosts that had us pinned. It was alive, breathing, waiting, and hungry for me. "Grandma, you see that?" Kane whispered, his hand trembling on the USB in his pocket. I squinted, heart hammering like church bells on Sunday. Shadows danced along the far edge of the rooftop, twisted and sinister. And honey, one of them moved faster than humanly possible. Flashback. Logan, laughing quietly over a cup of coffee. "Evie, always watch the shadows. They tell the truth, your eyes can't." That memory smacked me harder than a 2x4 to the skull. I wasn't just surviving for me tonight. I was surviving for Logan. For that promise he made years ago. I took a slow step forward. Metal creaked beneath me. The shadow darted again. Kane's jaw tightened. "They're not here for me. They want the USB." I nodded, grit between my teeth. "Well, honey, they're gonna have to catch me first." Micro cliffhanger, a sudden clang from the other end of the rooftop. My heart jumped, knees ready to buckle. Kane grabbed my arm. "Move," he hissed, eyes darting to a rooftop vent. And Sugar, I swear, I could hear breathing. Not ours. Not friendly. We crept toward the vent, hands scraping the cold metal. Every step was a gamble. I kept thinking of Logan's face, the worry etched in his eyes, the trust he'd put in me. And now, that trust was a beacon. A target. Twist. Kane suddenly froze, staring at a shadow stretching across the rooftop. "Grandma, wait." His hesitation stung worse than the fog bite on my cheeks. Something in his tone whispered betrayal, or warning, maybe both. We crawled into the vent. Tight, suffocating darkness pressing in. My cane scraped against the metal walls. A faint red glow pulsed from my pocket. The USB, tick tick tick. Sugar, like a heartbeat of doom. Mid-scene viewer question. What would you do if the one holding the key to your safety might also betray you? Think on that while I tell you, honey, it wasn't safe to answer yet. Another micro cliffhanger. Kane's hand brushed mine, but he didn't pull the USB. He just whispered, "I don't know who to trust anymore." And Sugar, that line chilled me colder than the fog around us. Suddenly, a gust of wind rattled the vent. Something heavy thumped above us. I pressed flat, breath caught in my throat. Shadows shifted, and I knew whatever was chasing us wasn't just smart, it was prepared. Flashback. Logan, voice soft but firm. "Evie, trust your instincts. Always." That memory lit a fire in my gut. I wasn't done yet. Not tonight. Not while a breath still lived in my chest. We crawled to a corner of the vent where a ladder led down to another rooftop. Kane looked at me, his eyes saying one thing, but his hands another. I nodded. "Lead the way, Sugar. But keep your secrets close." Micro cliffhanger. As we climbed, a shadow loomed above the ladder. Tall, menacing, and moving faster than humanly possible. Kane froze. I gritted my teeth. "And honey," I whispered to myself, "not today, Sugar, not today." Who is the mysterious shadow hunting Grandma and Kane? Chris, an accomplice, or someone entirely new? Will Grandma make it safely down the rooftop? Or is this the trap Logan warned about? What shocking secret could Kane be hiding that might put them both in mortal danger next? I swear, the second we peeked over the edge of that vent, the city lights below looked like they were mocking me. Sirens screaming, neon flickering, and a fog so thick it felt like it had teeth. I glanced at Kane, all jittery fingers and wide eyes, and I asked myself, what kind of fool drags an old lady into a death trap like this? "Grandma, you sure about this?" Kane whispered. I shot him a look sharper than a butcher knife. "Honey, I don't no anything except I ain't going down without making a mess." And Lordy, he could feel that fire. We stepped out of the vent. My cane hit the rooftop, metal clanging like a warning bell. Shadows twisted faster than snakes in a basket, and honey, one moved too quick to be human. My heart slammed, remembering Logan's words, "Evie, always trust your instincts. They'll save you more than anyone else." Kane's hand brushed mine as we ran, but something in his eyes, hesitation. Was he hiding something? My gut said yes. We scrambled across the wet rooftop, fog curling around our ankles like icy fingers. I could hear the faint click of boots behind us. Not Kane's, not friendly. Someone was hunting us. And sugar, they weren't playing fair. A shadow leaped from the opposite rooftop. My heart stopped. Kane grabbed my arm, dragging me behind a rusted air vent. The figure moved like a ghost, almost weightless. I whispered to myself, Chris, or someone worse. Sound cue, thump, thump, metal, hitting concrete. The USB in Kane's pocket blinked red. Tick, 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 like the countdown to our doom. Logan, sitting by the fireplace, his hand resting on mine. Evie, if anyone ever comes for the USB, don't hesitate. Trust your gut, not their words. That memory hit me harder than a bullet. I wasn't just running for my life. I was running for Logan's legacy. We reached a fire escape ladder. My old bones protested. But honey, I climbed. Kane followed, and that shadow. It followed, faster, smarter, calculated. I hissed through my teeth, hold tight, sugar, this ain't over. If the only person you trusted might be keeping secrets, would you still follow them into danger? Think about it while I tell you what happened next. A sudden gust threw me against the metal ladder. Kane yanked me up just in time. Above us, a figure crouched on the next rooftop, arms ready. I caught a glint, a symbol on his jacket. Something I recognized from Chris's office months ago. Oh honey, that meant one thing. The net was closing. Kane whispered, Grandma. I think he knows about Logan's files. My blood ran cold. He wasn't bluffing. That shadow wasn't just muscle. It was intelligence, patience, and pure menace. We descended the ladder, one step at a time, every creak a potential death sentence. I could feel my pulse in my ears. Flashback. Logan laughing quietly, Evie. Life's a game, but some cards are deadly. Know which ones you hold. I held my cards tight. The USB, the secret, the promise. We reached the next roof. Kane froze. A trapdoor cracked open behind us. I spun. And honey, I swear. Eyes glinted from inside the dark void. Run, a voice hissed from the shadows. Not text, not phone, live, alive, watching, waiting. We bolted. Kane nearly slipped on the wet metal. I yanked him up, cursing under my breath. Every step felt like hours. Every breath was a gamble. And honey, I could see the skyline, but the fog hid the worst part. The unseen enemy. Kane hesitated at the rooftop edge. His hand on the USB trembled. Was he protecting it, or planning to take it for himself? My gut screamed betrayal, but sugar, I couldn't stop. Not yet. Logan's voice, soft and steady, Evie, don't let fear guide you. Let it sharpen you. I clenched my teeth, feeling every ache and pain, and whispered to myself, I'm still alive, Logan. And I ain't done yet. From the fog behind, a voice hissed, too slow, old lady, something lunged. I spun, Kane swinging like lightning, and honey, that's when I saw it. 1. Who was that shadow attacking Grandma Chris? Kane, or someone entirely new? 2. Will Grandma escape the rooftop trap alive? Or is this the end of her chase? 3. What shocking truth lies in the USB that could change everything in Part 9? Honey, I tell ya. The second I grabbed that USB off Kane, I felt a chill like 1,000 tiny hands crawling down my spine. Ain't just the cold wind off the rooftop. No ma'am, this was danger. Tasting me like a cat circling a mouse. I shot Kane a look. You sure you're ready for this? I whispered. His nod was quick, but I swear I saw hesitation flicker across his eyes like candlelight in a storm. We slipped behind a stack of crates in that old warehouse. Metal groaned above us, long and low, like it was alive and watching. Fog wove through the broken windows, carrying the scent of rust, oil, and something I couldn't quite place. Every drip from the ceiling, every echo of our footsteps, made my heart hammer like a drum at Sunday service. The night felt bigger than us. deeper than any alley I'd ever run through. I flipped the USB in my hands, feeling the weight of Logan's trust pressing down. Asterisk Evie. Keep it safe. Some truths will burn you, but you'll need 'em. Asterisk my stomach nodded. His words had never felt heavier. Step by step, we edged toward the back office, careful as church mice. Kane kept glancing over his shoulder. His sweat glinted under the broken fluorescent light. My gut told me he knew more than he let on. You hiding something from me, sugar? I asked, voice low. He swallowed hard, eyes darting. I cut him off with a glare sharp enough to slice glass. Cracked glass crunched under our boots as we moved. Fog swirled in the room like it had a mind of its own. That USB blinked red once, then twice, little eyes staring me down. I froze, realizing this was bigger than any danger I'd faced before. I caught a glimpse of a photo pinned to the wall, Chris grinning, but behind him, a symbol etched I'd seen before. My chest tightened. This wasn't just family drama. It was a whole empire hiding in the shadows. Kane fiddled with the door lock, hands trembling. I peeked through the crack. The office smelled of ink, metal, and secrets. Papers scattered, drawers pulled open. I opened a cabinet, fingers shaking. There it was, a folder in Logan's handwriting. Names, numbers, places, people in real danger. Kane leaned in, whispering, "Grandma, this changes everything." I didn't need him to say more. I felt it in my bones. The truth pressed on me, heavy and relentless. A sound made me snap my head to the corner. Not Kane, not Chris, someone else. My pulse kicked up. I gripped the USB tighter, thinking of Logan laughing by the fireplace years ago. Asterisk Evie, life's a maze. Trust your instincts, but keep your wits sharper than a razor. Asterisk I took a deep breath, letting his words steady me. We edged toward the back exit, moving as quietly as possible. Kane's hand brushed mine. Hesitation, secrets, betrayal lurking in the air. Every flicker of neon light, every shadow stretching across the wall, reminded me that nothing in this night was simple. A drawer slammed somewhere across the office. I spun. Kane raised. Kane flinched. Keep your eyes open, sugar. They're closer than we think. Shadows shifted. My gut tightened again. The USB glowed red. Tick, tick, tick. We bolted, breathing ragged, fog curling, lights flickering. Every sound amplified. Every step could give us away, and I knew someone, something, was following. Closer than we imagined. 1. Who is trailing Grandma and Kane? Is it Chris, or someone entirely new? 2. Will the secrets in Logan's folder finally reveal the danger hiding in plain sight? 3. How far will Grandma go to protect herself and the truth in part 10? Lordy lemme, tell ya, I never thought a night could twist like a rattlesnake, but here we were, knee-deep in fog and fear. The moment I stepped into that alley, I knew we weren't just walking into trouble. Trouble was waiting, smirking behind every shadow. Kane was beside me, moving quick, but I swear I felt the tiniest tremble in his hand when he brushed mine. Something about that made my gut scream. We ducked behind a dumpster, neon light flickering above, buzzing like a hive of angry bees. I held up the USB, red light pulsing. My fingers shook, not just from cold. Logan's words echoed in my head. Asterisk Evie. Trust your eyes, but don't forget your heart. Asterisk I took a deep breath. I needed both right now. A door creaked somewhere nearby. Not loud, just enough to make your spine stiff. I pressed my back against the wall. Kane at the ready. Kane whispered, "You think it's them?" I snorted quietly. "Honey, I've lived through more snakes than you've seen in your lifetime. This ain't just them." We moved forward, careful. Trash rustled underfoot. Every shadow seemed alive. And then I saw it, a flicker of something on the rooftop above. Someone watching. My heart thumped so loud I feared it would give me away. I shook Kane lightly. "Look up there. Someone's got eyes on us." Inside the old office, papers scattered like leaves in a storm. I spotted the folder Logan had hidden years ago. Names, places, secrets, all of it screaming danger. Kane leaned over my shoulder, whispering, "Grandma, this changes everything." I didn't answer. I just stared, soaking in the truth, feeling its weight settle heavy in my chest. A sound made me jump. Metal scraping, soft but deliberate. Not Kane, not Chris, someone else. My stomach tightened, and I felt that old familiar adrenaline kick in. I gripped the USB tighter, thinking of Logan smiling by the fireplace, telling me, "Life's a test. Evie, don't flinch. Asterisk." Suddenly, Kane froze. I followed his gaze and saw movement at the far end of the office, a shadow slipping through the stacks of boxes. I whispered, "Who in the world?" before a crash echoed, sending papers flying. We bolted through the back door, fog curling around us, breathing hard. Kane glanced at me, eyes wide. Hesitation. Secrets. I knew we weren't alone, and whatever was out there had been waiting for this moment. Every step felt like running on a knife's edge. By the time we reached the street, my mind was spinning. Questions bubbled up like a pot about to boil over. I clutched the USB, chest tight, heart racing, every sense on high alert. Logan's words haunted me again. "Keep your wits sharp, Evie. People ain't always who they seem." 1. Who was shadowing Grandma and Kane's friend, foe, or someone even more dangerous? 2. What secrets in Logan's folder will finally surface, and who will be affected first? 3. Can Grandma trust Kane, or is his hesitation hiding a deadly betrayal? Sugar. I ain't never been so damn sure my heart would leap right out of my chest. I mean, one minute we're hustling through streets like ghosts. The next, well, honey, the world decided to show me just how messy truth can get. Kane and I crept into that crumbling warehouse, walls sweating from the cold night air. Every step echoed, bouncing off rusted beams like a drumline of doom. I clutched the USB, knuckles white, praying Logan's foresight had led me right. "We stick together, old lady," Kane muttered, voice tight. I shot him a glare, half amused, half scared. "Honey, I ain't your old lady. I'm the one keeping us alive." The office we'd been tracking all night loomed ahead, shadows stretching like they had their own damn agenda. Papers littered the floor, a chaotic dance of secrets waiting to be uncovered. I bent down, scanning the files, names, numbers, hidden accounts. It was Logan's world, all laid bare, and let me tell ya, it stank of betrayal. A noise, metal clanking against metal. I froze. Kane did too. Someone else was here. I could feel their eyes, burning into our backs. My breath came sharp, ragged. I muttered under my breath, thinking of Logan, of the man who trusted me with more than I could imagine. Evie. Trust yourself. Always. We made it inside, hearts slamming. Kane slid a folder toward me. I opened it, gasping. Evidence. Not just family secrets, the kind that could ruin lives, topple empires. Chris had built something bigger than I ever guessed, and now it was in my hands. Footsteps upstairs, quick, calculated, not random. I pressed my back against the wall, inhaling that damp, heavy warehouse air. Kane whispered, "We need to move it fast." I nodded, but my eyes caught a glimmer across the room. A framed photo, Chris smiling, that same symbol from before. The one Logan always warned me about. It made my stomach turn. I didn't notice Kane stiffened until a shadow passed the doorway. Someone or something was here. And honey, I swear, my old bones tensed like steel springs. I picked up the USB, heart hammering, thinking, Logan, keep me steady. Don't let me fail now, The sound of glass breaking. Quick, sharp. Kane grabbed my arm. "Go," he hissed. We bolted, weaving through crates and debris, the night swallowing us whole. I ducked low, nearly tripping over a rusted pipe, but I caught myself. Danger was thick in the air, every corner a trap. Finally, we hit the street, cold wind biting my cheeks. I paused, leaning on my cane, chest heaving. Kane gave me a look, one I couldn't read. Could I trust him completely? Did he hide something? And what about Chris? And the people I hadn't seen yet. My mind was spinning like a top. I tucked the USB close, thinking of Logan, thinking of all the times he told me, Evie, life's never simple, but you gotta face it head on. I'd faced worse, sure. But tonight felt like the beginning of a storm I might not survive unscathed. 1. Who else is lurking in the shadows? And are they friend or foe? 2. What secrets on Logan's USB will shift the balance of power? 3. Can Grandma fully trust Kane, or is there a hidden betrayal waiting to strike?